Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Hollins, Williams versus Anderson.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Hollins, you are demanding a DNA test today because you say you are not the father of Ms. Anderson's 17-month-old daughter, Chloe.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
claim to be paying support for a child. It's not yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Anderson, you say Mr. Hollins need to step up and take responsibility for his actions and his child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So my first question would be to you, Mr. Hollins. Now, how do you end up paying child support for a child that you say is definitely not yours?
I failed to appear to court because I didn't want to take a DNA test and had to pay for it all by myself.
I offered to go half with Mr. Hollins, but he wanted me to pay the whole thing, and he never went to court to take the DNA test. 4 times. He failed to appear 4 times.
Your Honor, that's
4
not right.
times you failed to appear?
No, what happened was my mother had two brain aneurysms. That's the reason why I failed to appear. You see what I'm saying?
Your Honor, the first time he failed to appear, he said he was out of town. The second time, he said he overslept. The third time, his mom was in the hospital. And the fourth time, he overslept and his mom was in the hospital. And I talked to him the day before court, and he said that he was coming.
Why wasn't it important for you to show up for this DNA test? I mean, you want to know, don't you?
Yes, but it was important, but my mom went through that. I put everything to the side. I quit my job and everything, you know?
All right, now, have you been paying this support?
Yeah, I've been paying child support for her child, and I don't even know it's mine.
Let me see that, sir. Thank you, Jerome.
Yep.
So she'll pay child support in the amount of $62 monthly for 1 child.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you have to pay health care expenses. So the bottom line is you were ordered to pay child support and you've been paying it.
Yes, ma'am.
No, Your Honor. I received $100 from Mr. Hollins.
No, she lying. I didn't pay $400. They take money out my check.
Take me back in this relationship. So were you boyfriend and girlfriend? What is?
At one point in time, we was in a relationship. I liked her. You feel me? I was feeling her.
Was she your girlfriend?
Yeah, she was my girlfriend.
Your Honor, we were in a relationship until another young woman wrote me on Facebook and told me that she was pregnant by Mr. Hollins.
But it's...
Okay, so you were boyfriend and girlfriend.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend.
And you got a message on Facebook.
Yes.
Somebody told you, I'm having a child by Mr. Hollins.
Yes, that she was pregnant by Mr. Hollins and that her and Mr. Hollins was in a relationship. I then called Mr. Hollins and I asked Mr. Hollins about it. He thought it was funny. We were on the 3-way with a girl. He didn't know that I was on the phone. And he basically said if he couldn't have both of us, he didn't want neither of us.
That is not how it went.
He thought it was all a joke, as if, I wasn't gonna take it serious.
So you continued the relationship?
Yeah, we continued the relationship. I had a friend who was going out of town. He said, could I go with him and his mother and his daughter? I was telling Mr. Hollins, I wanted his approval. He basically gave me an ultimatum saying that if I went, we were over. I don't take ultimatums very lightly, so I went anyway.
Yana, you in a relationship with me. How you gonna go out of town with a guy that you ain't even told me about? I just supposed to assume and say,
Your Honor, he knew about this guy because
Who is this guy?
It was literally a friend, nothing more than a friendship. But Mr. Hollins, he said, if you go, then we're done.
You don't even supposed to be going out of town with him from the beginning. We in a relationship.
I'd like to hear about your doubts.
Reason,
why are you doubtful?
Because I told her to be honest with me and she didn't.
I thought me and Mr. Hollins was better than this. When we got together, we were like best friends almost. The things that has happened since she was born, stuff that's been said, I never thought that me and Mr. Hollins would be like this today.
Yana,
so
we was cool, we was in a relationship, everything was good. When she chose to do the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? We had already talked. I said, no, I don't want you to go.
Your Honor, I went out of town.
You must have didn't care that much,
I dealt with the fact that the girl told me that she was pregnant. Why couldn't he deal with the fact that I made a mistake? I dealt with the fact that he made a mistake.
I accept your mistake to a
No, because you're saying that we were done.
Listen, when you came back, I told you, I don't think I'm gonna pay for this. We might need to go half. I knew then. Something ain't right.
All right, moving on. Mr. Hollins, how do you find out Ms. Anderson's pregnant?
Facebook, online. Facebook tell a lot of stuff. I found out on Facebook that she had a baby.
That she had a baby or that she was pregnant?
Yeah. She had a baby, not pregnant. A pregnancy I didn't never know about.
Wait a minute, so from the point she went out of town with the friend until she actually gave birth to the child, you had no idea she was even pregnant?
No idea.
Your Honor, he had
How
no,
is that- how
he
is
had
that
no
the
idea
case?
because I had no idea I was pregnant until the day I had her.
You what?
I did not know I was pregnant until
This
the
what
day
I'm
I
going
had her.
through,
I went to the emergency due to back pain. When I got in the emergency, the lady said you have like a lot of fluid around your stomach. So I said, you know, get it out. And she basically
Got it.
said, are you pregnant? I said no. She then did an ultrasound on my stomach.
You go through all this, but I don't find out.
So no idea
Yeah.
you were pregnant until the day you gave birth. Not a clue.
No idea. She didn't kick, move. I gained no weight, none of that. It was no idea until the day I had her. I wrote Mr. Hollins on Facebook. Mr. Hollins never responded. I then talked to my best friend and I told her that I wanted to tell him about Chloe. So she called Mr. Hollins. We put Mr. Hollins on a three-way and I told him about the baby and I asked him did he want a DNA test.
Yeah.
Because me and Mr. Hollins had not seen each other in over 6 months.
And so were there any other men you were intimate with during the time you were also intimate with Mr. Hollins? Anybody else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Okay. And that was sex without protection or with protection?
Without protection, Your Honor.
And the name of that man is?
Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams. And Mr. Williams is here in our courtroom today.
Yes, Your Honor.
What made you believe that Mr. Williams could also be the father?
I went on the internet and I found a conception calendar and I put in when did I get pregnant because I never was given a date of when I conceived. So I put in when did I get pregnant. They asked for her birthday. When they asked for her birthday, it then took me back to Khalil when I had sex with Khalil.
I have a conception calendar right here. Let me get these dates. The date you were intimate with the other man is what?
March the 30th.
March the 30th. Now your due date was December 4th, 2013. So that was the day they pinpointed. When was your daughter actually born?
December the 7th.
If you go back to your dates of intimacy, you were also intimate with Mr. Williams as well.
Yes, and Mr. Hollins.
And Mr. Hollins.
Yes.
Playing both of us.
And so based on the calculator,
Both of us, what it sound like.
it's pointing to Mr. Williams, not Mr. Hollins.
I was intimate with Mr. Hollins maybe like a day or two before I was intimate with Mr. Williams.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, well, we don't need no calculator for that. But now Mr. Hollins is the one that's actually paying the child support.
At the time, Your Honor, I did think Mr. Hollins was the father.
Yeah.
Jerome, I want to meet Mr. Williams. Can you please escort him in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How can I be the daddy and you then had sex with somebody else 2 days after me?
Have you come in with
That
me?
means
Come in.
clearly you don't know who the daddy is. How you just gonna falsely blame me?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They
But
taking
Your
my
Honor,
money.
this
everything.
situation
You see what I'm
could have
saying?
been dealt
But
with
you the
months
honest
ago
truth
if
is you don't
Mr.
know.
Hollins would have showed up for the DNA
You see what I'm
test.
saying?
Listen, Mr. Hollins, I understand your concern. I do. But Ms. Anderson has a point as well. You had 4 times to show up to do the DNA test, and you failed to appear. You can't really argue about a problem you created for yourself.
I created.
Mr. Williams, thank you for being here today. We are here, of course, talking about the paternity as it relates to baby Chloe. Ms. Anderson has informed the court that she was intimate with you around the same time she was intimate with Mr. Hollins within the same week. You remember being intimate with Ms. Anderson, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And it was unprotected.
Yeah.
All right. When did you find out that you could be the father?
Recently, this year after my birthday, after I had turned 18, then she had finally told me.
See, here we go.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
So you weren't involved in the pregnancy, or she didn't even know she was
I
pregnant?
didn't even know she was pregnant either.
Did nobody know?
I ain't heard nothing.
She didn't.
I didn't know.
But I get
How,
the blame.
how can I tell you something
ain't
that I
gonna
don't know? If you would have took the DNA test, then you would have found out over a
Hey,
year
listen,
ago.
You had already made up your mind in your head that I was the daddy. Because you didn't tell me about him. Even being in the picture.
So, Mr.
what
Hollins,
I'm
you're
saying?
saying she had never told you about Mr. Williams?
Never. I'm hearing this now. All this is new. Didn't know him. Didn't know he exists. Not in this.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
when you found out there was a baby that could potentially be yours, how did you handle that?
I kind of thought about it for me. I was like, no, I don't think there's no way. And then I was like, I don't know, maybe so. I was kind of mad though, cause she waited so long after to tell me. Once I found out, I was like, I don't know. I was kind of mad.
Your Honor, I waited so long to tell Mr. Williams because I thought that she was Mr. Hollins. And it never dawned on me that Mr. Williams was a possibility until that day. And when I went back and I did the date, that's when Mr. Williams
But you
became
say
a
you slept with
possibility.
them within 1 or 2 days.
Yes.
How did you ever think that you could
Because
pinpoint which man
That's the answer
it was?
I'm looking for. How did you even know?
No, I'm serious. In your mind, how did you think you could pinpoint it with 1 or 2 days?
Because I was in a relationship with Mr. Hollins. We were always together. Like, Mr. Williams never dawned on me until that day.
Ms. Anderson, I have to ask you, did you ever think, once you realized Mr. Williams was also a possibility, did you ever say, let me call the court back and let them know there's another potential father? Because if, in fact, they had called Mr. Williams in for a DNA test, he might have shown up, and that could have helped you arrive at your
Honor,
conclusion.
Mr. Williams didn't become a possibility to me until maybe a month ago.
All right? Have either of you been there for the child? She's 17 months old. Does anyone spend time with her? I know Mr. Hollins is ordered to pay child support.
No.
I said the baby.
You have a
4 times.
relationship with her?
He's
I said the
seen
4
her
times,
4
that's
times,
it.
and that's because I brought her to him 3 of those times.
Listen, you went out of town, you pop up, you have a baby. What else new? It's subject not to be
Listen.
mine. And now look, it's subject not to be mine.
And now,
You see what I'm saying?
and now, right, you find out here today about Mr. Williams.
Could
You
have
know,
told me this months ago.
this is what drives me crazy, is to see young people, first of all, y'all too young to be in grown adult situations like this you can't handle. You don't even know how to handle a simple boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, much less bring a baby into it.
Yeah.
This is, you know, children have to know,
Your Honor.
they deserve to know, and they have the right to know who their father
She
is.
deserves to know who her father is, and that's why I'm here today. I grew up without a father, so I know how it feels, and I wouldn't want her to go through the same thing.
At this point in her life, at 17 months old, she doesn't know anyone as daddy.
Right. Yes.
Your Honor, I'm gonna be truthful. I don't even know how to be a father. I'm honestly not even, I'm still taking care of myself. You see what I'm saying? I don't even know how to be a father. My father wasn't there. He said, but that's not to blame nobody. You see what I'm saying? I just don't know how to be one. I'm 23. If you would have
And
walked
I'm
me through this like how you was trying to walk through it, we could have got somewhere. But you wanted me to just
Okay, I'm
pay for
21
something
and I had to grow up
get
and be a
diapers for
mother,
something
so
that I don't even know it's mine. So
I
I'm
had to
looking
grow
like,
up, Your Honor, and be a
what's
mother.
my first
so why
step?
can't he grow up? If he
Well, I'll
would've
tell
took
you
the
what, the
test,
reason
then
why
would.
he didn't immediately choose to be a father right off the bat is because he felt like he had doubts, and now those doubts have been substantiated here
But
in
he
this
didn't even
courtroom.
he didn't find out about Mr. Williams until recently, so therefore he didn't make an effort at all, period. No
But I
effort
had
was
faith
made.
in you.
But
no
listen,
effort. Your Honor,
ultimately, the person that's suffering is Chloe.
yes.
You all are running around here having sex like it's an extracurricular activity, like you gonna go to the movies, you gonna go do this. I'm not laughing, Mr. Williams.
Emma, you right? You right?
Producing lifelong consequences in the form of a beautiful, innocent human being. Does she even say dad? Who's she gonna say it to?
She say that, but she
To the air?
to nobody.
That's a shame. Mr. Williams, now, will you step up to be Chloe's father if, in fact, it's determined you are the biological father?
I don't got a problem with it. She ain't got to
How
worry
about you,
nothing.
Mr. Hollins?
I step up, but how far? I don't know how to change a diaper. I don't know what to do when
Those
she crying,
are
you know what
all
I'm saying?
things you can learn, and you will learn if one of you, either of you, turn out to be the biological father. That's something that I will help you with. All right? It's time for the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hollins, Williams v. Anderson, when it comes to 17-month-old Chloe Anderson, It has been determined by this court. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Hollins, Williams v. Anderson, as to whether Mr. Hollins or Mr. Williams is this child's biological father, it has been determined by this court that Mr. Williams, you are not the father. Mr. Hollins, you are her father.
Thank you.
I just feel like if she would have kept it 100 with me from the beginning and told me everything, you know, I could have been there. I could at least help. I ain't that type of person. I'm gonna have to take it day by day, step by step, because I don't even know what to do first, you know?
I feel your concern, and I appreciate your honesty that you don't know how to be a father and you don't know what to do first, but I will fill you in on a secret, and Jerome can attest to this. No matter how old you are, there's a part of becoming a parent where you're just not ready. You don't know what to do sometimes.
Yes.
But out of love for your child, you learn. And the smartest thing you said today is, I guess I'll take it day by day. And that's what you do. You just show up day after day. Now, Mr. Williams, you are not the biological father, but I hope this experience has taught you something. Look at me, young man.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you understand what happened here. It can repeat itself.
There ain't gonna be no next time, because I ain't gonna be standing where you're standing at.
That's what I want to hear. All right, this court has resources for you, and I know you have the capacity to be a wonderful father to Chloe, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I wish you all the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.